What is up, my beautiful people? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Exile451 here to make it a little better. Let's start your weekend off right with another success story from r/AskReddit that I'm sure you're gonna love. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So the question was, successful people of Reddit, what was your lowest point before success? I've had two extremely low points. In 2004, my big brother, who had been ill for a couple of years with bipolar disorder, killed himself. I felt so low. I had seen him just a week prior and promised to call him every day, but I went on vacation and ended up just drinking and getting high with my friend, thinking that I'd be in touch with my bro soon enough. That turned out not to be the case. I was in university at the time and was nearly thrown out after failing a lot of classes. I ended up graduating 3 years later after having written a petition to the dean and getting one of my professors to write me a letter of recommendation to accompany it. Then, in 2011, I was still smoking lots of pot, drinking, and now I was doing some coke as well. I felt like I was on top of the world because I was making $130,000 a year working from home as a software developer. But I kept getting kicked out of bars, had no real friends, my apartment was a mess, I never shaved, I got about 2 to 3 haircuts a year, and I was having trouble with my boss at work. The real thing, though, that I was unable to admit to myself is that I didn't like who I was. I hated myself. I made up for it with cockiness and arrogance. Then, in September of that year, I became psychotic. I thought people were taking videos of me and posting them on the internet. I thought that everyone in the city I lived in knew it, and that everyone was in on the joke. I thought there was spyware controlling the camera on my computer, and that there were bugs and cameras in my apartment. I have an email from myself to myself from that period. It reads, subject, whoever is watching, please stop and tell me how you are doing this. Thanks. On the 11th day of that month, I had been unable to sleep properly for days. I had been seeing a psychiatrist for something else. He thought I had OCD, and I told him what was going on. He tried to convince me it wasn't happening, but I still thought it was. And after taking one of the pills he gave me, Seroquel, and smoking some more weed, I finally had enough. I got a screwdriver and got up on a chair and was about to remove a light fixture on the ceiling to take the bugs out of it when I realized I didn't know anything about electricity and that it might not be a safe idea. So, I called 911 and told them what was going on and asked them to send some cops to help me out. They took me to the hospital instead. For 3 weeks I stayed there. Fast forward to today. 2 years later, I've just passed 1 year without any drugs other than cigarettes, coffee, and prescription medication. I am a small business owner, and the people on the end of the last 3 contracts I've had, including one that is ongoing to the tune of $100,000 a year, have no idea that I've had problems with mental health or with drugs and alcohol. My psychiatrist jokes that they should hire me, because I know and live their programs so well. I meditate 5+ times a week, I do cognitive behavioral therapy pretty much every night, and I recently started exercising. I have friends, and my relationship with my parents is much, much better. They will never have to live through another child committing suicide. And my cat really loves getting her litter box cleaned every morning. Plus, I'm just getting started. Edit. There was also the time I dropped out of school at 16, the time I tried to commit suicide at approximately 18, the time I almost got thrown out of the first university I attended, the time I contracted an incurable STD from a sexual experience I didn't really want any part of, etc. But my life is beautiful. I have had so much luck being born into a rich country with a loving family and with enough money to survive comfortably and then some. It came with its share of hardships though, and they have helped shape who I am. And I am grateful for every bit of hardship that I've faced. I do wish my brother was not dead, but other than that, no regrets. Edit again. I feel compelled to say, especially since this is a throwaway account, that my success is due to the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. I know a lot of people on here are down on that organization because of its mention of God everywhere. It was a hard thing for me to swallow. I left the program at one point because I could not deal with it. Eventually, I came back out of desperation and pain, and one day I asked my sponsor, "What is this God consciousness thing all about?" And he told me that it comes from within, that it is as simple as knowing right from wrong. Well, I do know right from wrong, thank you very much, and I was able to follow the simple directions and go from there. I believe the real benefit of the 12 steps comes from meditation. I think of prayer as a form of meditation, inventory, which I liken very much to CBT, and the social aspect of being part of a loving fellowship. But that's just academic. And for me, what it's really about is I put my life together, which I was never able to do. My psychiatrist, a man who has practiced his scientific craft for over 30 years, was the one who sent me there when I told him I could not get sober. It was either that or a $20,000 treatment center that I couldn't afford. And AA/NA is free. I do have to say, that may not necessarily be the most uplifting and encouraging success story, but it does show that it doesn't matter what issues you may have struggled with in your life, be it mental illness, be it depression, be it substance abuse of any kind, there is always a path forward. You never have to admit defeat. You can always keep moving forward, and there is always going to be something good for you waiting on the other end. Even if you can't see it right now, you just have to muscle through. Just act like there's nothing holding you back. Your wildest dreams are always within reach. It's never too late and you're never too far gone. Everyone has a chance. Thank you all so much for watching today. I truly appreciate you tuning in and supporting the channel like you have been. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoy the video. Now go have a great weekend. I'll see you all Monday. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.